Greetings, Wambui. Wambui made it here. Okay, today, why and how to copyright your own fabric. A few years ago, I had a shop on Etsy. And then one day, out of the blue, Etsy sent me a notice telling me that I'd been put on notice. Well, they weren't specific, and I didn't know what it was that I had done, because I looked at my site. It was very family friendly and everything looked in order to me, and all my stuff was looking good, and some of my photos could have been a little better, but my site looked good. I didn't understand why I was put on notice, so I started thinking that it was a mistake. Well, a few days later, I received an email from the New York City Metropolitan Transit Authority lawyer's office. And they were saying that I was selling products that infringed upon their copyright. Well, I immediately picked up the phone and called the number that was in the email, and I called and I explained that who I was, and I said, I'm not sure what you're talking about. I'm not infringing on a copyright. And they told me the New York City map, they had the copyright on that, and the fabric that anything that had the map on it, they owned that fabric. So here's what they were referring to. I had art items on my site that was made out of this fabric. And here's one in the darker version. And it's just little pouches that I was selling, various kinds of pouches made out of the subway fabric. And so they told me they owned the copyright for that fabric. And I immediately said, hey, but I'm not selling the fabric. I bought the fabric at a store, and I'm making other items out of the fabric, because that's what I thought. Okay, they say ignorance is no excuse when it comes to the law, but I really thought that, okay, if I bought the fabric and I was reselling the fabric, then I thought that's a crime. But I thought you could buy fabric and make it into different things, and that would be okay. Well, he said it was not okay. He said I could make things for personal use, but I could not make things that I was going to resell out of that fabric because they owned the copyright. So I said, okay, fine, I'm going to take it down. And I did. I immediately went to my store and removed any of the items that were made out of the New York subway map fabric. Okay, but I was still confused. I mean, I respect people's rights. I'm not that person. I really do. If it's yours, it's yours. I have had people try to claim ownership of things that I have written, and it is not a good feeling. So I totally respect someone's property. I was just ignorant. I was really ignorant. And I was also thinking, well, doesn't the New York City subway map belong to the people? That's how ignorant I was. I didn't know that someone had copyrighted. So I started looking around for information about that. And one of the first articles I came to was called, Can I Make Items Using Copyrighted Fabric? And it is by Marilyn Lynn Bland, and this is from Demand Media. And I'm looking for a date here. I don't see a date. Okay, she, among other things, she says there's something called first sale doctrine. The first sale doctrine is the legal doctrine that protects the items that you make from copyrighted fabric and sell. Under the first sale doctrine, a copyright owner can enforce its rights the first time it sells an item. After the first sale, the item enters the stream of commerce, and the copyright owner's control ends. With copyrighted fabric, the first sale occurs when the copyright owner licenses or sells its copyright to the fabric manufacturer. When you purchase the fabric from a fabric store, your purchase is a subsequent sale that the copyright owner cannot control. So, but then at the same time, okay, there's an article from is this New York? There's an article from New York region, not sure exactly but it's called C Cafe, Transit Agency May Put Up Fight. And the subtitle is MTA Guards Against Copyright Infringement. So I read this article, and one of the things I found out is that the notice that I received, and this is from 2013, this article, 2013, they were sending out up to 600 notices a year, like the one I received, to protect their subway map and subway logo things. And it goes on to talk about different people that had been put on notice. And there was one woman who was doing art on discarded subway cards, just doing art on these little cards, which is a little card maybe about the size of a credit card that we use that has our money loaded onto these cards so that we can enter the subway. And so when the card expires or they're used up, what she was doing is she was taking these cards and she was doing art on the cards, and they didn't like that. They went after her and said, nah, that's ours. The way I think it turned out, I believe, according to the article, if I understood correctly, is that she was able to continue to do the art, but of course she had to make sure there was no, it wasn't recognizable as a MTA card. So there you have it. Like I say, I respect everybody's property. I don't want to do something, if it's not mine, I don't want it. And so, but then the dilemma was, okay, so what do you do? Because I'm thinking, well, if the MTA can say that copyright is theirs, the subway map, every piece of fabric was designed by somebody. So what's to say that a month from now, somebody will say, oh, I saw one of your quilts and I saw a patch on your quilt that was made out of some fabric that I designed, so I'm claiming the copyright. You can't use that in your quilt, so you can't sell that. So I'm saying, well, what's to keep that from happening? And really, I don't know what's to keep it from happening, because I didn't find any real answers that made me feel real comfortable to continue to use somebody's copyrighted fabric. So, I mean, unless I was in a position where I could buy the license. I mean, but I was smart enough. I am smart enough to know, and I've always known this, that, I was never going to mess with anything like Disney or Sesame Street or any movie characters. And, I knew that those things had trademarks and that you had to license those type things. I just thought the New York subway map belonged, to the people. But, okay, so it doesn't. It's copyrighted. So then the question is, so what do I do, though, to keep that from happening again? And my answer was, okay, you've got to create your own fabric. That seemed very ambitious to try to start manufacturing fabric. But I did, looking on the internet, I did come across a company called Spoonflower, spoonflower.com, Spoonflower. And this is Spoonflower. And they are located, it's a company down in North Carolina. And now I'm sure there are other companies that do the same thing. This is the first one this is the one that I know about. And the first one that I found, and so I started dealing with them. And what it is that if you can upload a drawing of your own, something that you create on the internet, in Adobe or PicMonkey, anything, your design, if you can design something original and upload it, they can make it into printed on the fabric. And they give you choices of all kinds of, fabrics, including organic. And not only that, but they can take your design and make wallpaper or wrapping paper or paper, just paper, paper out of your design, which gives you 100% control over the product that you're making. Now, I'm not an artist, but I can manipulate, things around. So this is one of my fabrics that is, this is mine. Now, you may say, and this one right here, Now you may say, well, I don't like your fabrics. Well, these are my fabrics, and the thing is, what I'm trying to tell you is that you can make your own. You upload your own, and that becomes your fabric. I don't know what was going on in my head at this time, but the thing was, I want to make purses, pouches, tote bags, nothing, I'm not making prom dresses or anything like that. Just wanted to make some small makeup cases, that type of stuff. So for me, this is right up my alley. Now, do these fabrics cost more? Of course they do. But to me, it's worth it for that peace of mind and for the satisfaction of being able to say, this is mine. And for that peace of mind, knowing that no one can at any time, somewhere down the road or at any time, come to me and say, hey, that fabric is copyrighted and you can't sell that, or turn into a legal matter over me using somebody's fabric. So for personal use items, yes, I will use fabrics at the store. If I'm going to give somebody a gift, then that's okay. But actually, I kind of like the idea so much of using my own fabric that even when I want to give a gift, I want it to be from some of my own stuff. And I'm getting better. My fabric is not, let's see here. I wanted something that had the word more on it, so M-O-O-R. So this was like more here on this fabric. And then this right here, for a makeup pouch or tote. This is, well, okay, so I'm just a little odd, but this, I'm so glad that I have this opportunity to make my own fabric. And then this one right here, right there. Okay, so, so check out spoonflower.com, or check out, maybe there are other companies too that do the same thing, where you can actually control your item from beginning to the very end, and you never have to worry about somebody sending you a notice saying, hey, you can't sell that, we own that copyright. Peace.